Good morning, everyone. This is Coach Williams, Cassandra Williams of Cassandra. I'm a lady that wears many hats, including Victory Coach. And as your Victory Coach, I help busy, wise, professional women and kingdom leaders like myself build the life that they have always dreamed of and live there. Good morning, Fred. Thanks for coming in, sweetie. Um, How do I do that? I help you deal with your past. I help you embrace where you are right now to say, you know what? Yeah, I've gained a few COVID-19, quarantine pounds, but you know what? I'm okay. But I know how to get them off. So we move forward. We don't get stuck where we are. And then we transition. We prepare for that we prepare to live in that place that we've always dreamed of because for so many years I would walk into a room, um, size it up, good or bad, didn't have to always be bad things. I would walk into a good place and I would be like, "Ooh, this isn't for me." It was a scary place. And so, with that being said, I would turn around and walk out. I just did. So I teach you how not to walk out of the room. I teach you to own the room. I teach you how to be in the room and be like, you know what? It's okay that I'm here. That you don't have to hide who you are and who you were created to be anymore, right? And so Thursday we were talking about self-sabotage. Friday was in honor of Father's Day. It was a special edition. And we talked about Daddy Matters. So if you have not seen that, I know Father's Day is over and it's done with. I do encourage you to go back and watch that broadcast. So we're going to get back on track today with how do we change the narrative? How do we change the direction of our life with everything that's going on right now in the world. And I keep going back to what's going on because I need you to look from where you are right now. I don't need you to get caught up in what you see on a day to day basis. I need you to be forward thinking, forward, have forward vision to where you're going. Okay. As the victory coach, I have to prepare you for victory. I have to prepare you for the other side because you'll get there and not be able to handle it. You'll get there and still have all of that stuff, right? So, as we're going into today's topic, um, I just have a, I was just told to tell you one little thing. I just want to tell you one thing. Y'all want to know what it is? Okay, put it down. Put it down. It's that simple. Put it down. Sometimes we have carried the weight of the world of our family secrets. We've carried all of our past mistakes. We've carried everything for everybody else, even when it wasn't our fault. We took it on as if it was our own. And it's time to put it down. I don't know what your it is. I can't say what your it is. It may be that, somebody told you you would never amount to anything. Put it down. You don't have to carry that anymore. You are more than a conqueror. You're still here. Somebody may have, you may have been molested as a child. Put it down. You're grown. You're an adult. You lived. You survived. Put it down. You've carried the weight of all of this stuff for so long that it has become a part of your life. It become a part of who you are. For me, it used to be like a coat that I wore. Joseph is his coat of many colors. Well, I had a coat of pain. I had a coat of trials, tribulations, sadness. I that's what I wore, and it was like a coat. And one day I had to take it off and I had to put it down. I had to lay it down. I had to do what it says in Hebrews 12, and I'm going to read it in two different versions today. Hebrews 12, 1 through 2. We know it familiar. I'm going to read it in the familiar translation first. The familiar translation says, since we are surrounded by so many examples of faith, we must get rid of everything that slows us down, especially sin that distracts us. We must run the race that lies ahead of us and never give up. We must focus on Jesus, the source and goal of our faith, right? And so that's the NIV. The Message Bible says, do you see what this means? All these pioneers who blazed the way, all these veterans cheering us on. It means we better get on with it. Strip down, start running, and never quit. No extra spiritual fat, no parasitic sins. Keep your eyes on Jesus, who both began and finished this race we're in. And what he's saying is he's saying, put it down. In essence, put it down. Put down those things that would slow you down. Put down those things that would distract you. Put down those things that would keep you in this place right here, in this state of mind right here. He's saying, put it down. You don't have to carry it anymore. What your bank account says. Poverty is a mindset. Poverty, because you can have $1 million and have a poverty mindset. So poverty is you put it down. You need to put it down. Put down anxiety. The Bible says, be anxious for nothing. Lay aside fear. Put it down. Put down fear. Put down that thing that says you can't do it. Put down that thing that says what happened to me before is going to happen again. Put down fear. And y'all know procrastination is just fear dressed up, right? Good morning, Leah. Thanks for coming in. Says, procrastination is just fear dressed up. So when you procrastinate, you're really afraid. It's fear because we go to the root. We don't let you just say, "Oh, I'm a procrastinator." What are you afraid of? Why do you procrastinate? Why do you wait to the last minute? Why do you self-sabotage? Because when you procrastinate, you're self-sabotaging too. Because you need to get the work done. You know somebody is depending on you, and you wait to the last minute, wear yourself out. Now you're about to fall out, pass out, and everybody's like, "Oh, woo, 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 she worked so hard." If you just paced yourself, a runner paces himself, right? So get rid of fear. Lay down division. Lay it down. Put it down. Put down division. Put down that thing that says, I can't come together with you because you live on that side of town and I live on that side of town. You have money and I don't. You're this color and I'm not. You live here and I don't. You have this education and I didn't go to school. Put it down. Put it down. And where did that come from? There are so many things that we're fighting for and fighting against right now that don't even belong to us. We're fighting generational battles. Put it down. At some point, we've got to put it down. I remember growing up, and there were certain people that was like, we don't like them, and it was like, why? And nobody could ever tell me why we didn't like them. This family doesn't like this family because our great, 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 great grandfather, great, 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 great grandmother, they had a schism or ism division. It was a spirit of division that came in and separated these two families. And guess what? Some of you are still fighting that battle today. Lay it down. Put it down. Put down that spirit of division. Unforgiveness. That goes with that division. Unforgiveness. Put it down. Put down. Good morning, mommy. Thanks for coming in. Good. Put it down. Put it down. The person, forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness does not say it didn't happen. Forgiveness says, you know what? You're not going to hold me hostage in this place, in this space. That's what forgiveness does. Forgiveness says, you know what? You did me dirty, but I'm going to let God handle that. I'm not going to get caught up in what I want to do, what Cassandra wants to do, what Coach wants to do sometimes. I'm going to let God be God. And you keep it moving. And then when they come back, because see, because some people that hurt you, can I say that some people that hurt you, you're going to have to minister to them at some point, that they're going to have to come back and say, you know what? Hey, so, and you may not get a sorry. Can I help somebody? You've got to forgive without hearing, I'm sorry. You may never hear those words, but you have to know that the simple fact that they've come back to submit. Good morning, Sophia. Thanks for coming in, sis. The simple fact that they come back and they submit and they be like, hey, I miss you, or how you been doing? And they start coming back with small talk, and we be sitting there like, what they want? What you put it down? Just forgive, forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to bring them back into the inner courts of your heart. That is not what forgiveness means. Forgiveness means you're not gonna. When I see you, when I hear you, you're not. It's not gonna. That thing isn't gonna rise up in my spirit anymore. It's not going to make me act out of character when I hear your name. It's not going to make me act out of character when I see you. It's not going to make me act out of character. So you've got to put it down. Put it down. Malice, rage, anger. Put it down. Sickness. So some of you, we hold on to certain things. Certain things run in your family, and you know how to pray. You know what to eat, what not to eat, and you still do that stuff. Put it down. Be like, nope, that's not my portion. No, not my portion. I'm gonna do what needs to be done to break the cycle. Put it down. Why you gotta eat that pork chop? Why? Why you gotta eat the ribs? Why you gotta eat that fried chicken? Ouch. Why you gotta eat that? Why? Why? We don't. Put it down. If that's not what your body needs, put it down. I'm having to learn now in this season because what I ate in my 20s and 30s, I can't eat in 40 something, okay? So I'm having to readjust and put some things down that I may love. See, me and food have a special relationship, y'all. Some of y'all don't have the kind of relationship that I have with food. But there's some things I've had to put down that I'm having to put down if I don't want to be on medications, if I want to live healthy, like the Bible says, if I want to live that life, brethren, I wish above all that you would prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. If I want to be in that good health, then there's some things I got to do. I got to put some things down. I've got to lay aside some weights. Our scripture this morning. Good morning, Pastor Arlene. Thanks for coming in. Our scripture from this morning is Hebrews 12, 1 through 2, that we're laying aside the weight. That means put it down. You have the ability to put some stuff down. So when sickness comes to your body, say, no, that's not my portion. But sometimes we come in agreement with that thing. We wear it like a coat. It becomes part of who we are. What has become part of who you are that God never ordained for you to walk in? God said that's not your portion, but you put it on like a coat every day. You tell people about it all the time. Grief, disobedience, lust, addiction, control. That's a big one. That you have to be in control of your type A personality. You got to be in control of everything. Nothing moves unless you know about it. Put it down because you wearing yourself out because God is not going to tell you everything. He's not going to let you know everything. He's going to tell you the parts that you need to know and that you can handle. Have you ever thought that you not knowing everything? There's places I am right now in my life. And in the sovereignty of God, had God told me about his plan, I probably would have said no. So he knew best that not to tell her. Don't tell her yet. She can't handle that yet. Show her a little bit and let's get her moving. And then Right. Yeah. God does not tell us everything. He said, let me tell her just enough, get her moving step by step, because she can handle that. And then later on, we see the big picture that's like, oh my God. And it's like, but then we've matured. Then we've grown into this place where we can handle it. But because sometimes there have been people who put things on you, it was not that you weren't called to do that. It was not that you weren't supposed to do that, but you were in the wrong timing. You weren't ready. What do we look like giving a baby a steak? He's not ready. He can't chew it. He can't eat it. Good morning, Brother Michael. Thanks for coming in. He can't chew it. He can't eat it. Be able to. It's just in this particular moment, he can't handle it. And some of you, some people have given you some things too soon. The right thing in the wrong season is still wrong. Can I tell somebody that again? Because I need you to learn to lay aside every weight and every sin or parasite. Because sin is like a parasite, it sticks to you, it will stick to you and suck the very life out of you. Because we've got to lay it, we got to put it down. You have the power to put it down. I remember I remember one of the first times me and my mom we ministered together, and we were doing a skit, and I had this bag on my arm, and I was holding on to the bag, and I was supposed to be giving it to God. She was playing God, and we were talking about how we hold on to things that it's mine. We take it on, and we've carried it for so long that it becomes mine, right? And so when God said, "Will you give it to me?" There's certain things we'll give to Him easily, but then there's certain things, other things that we hold it really near and dear to our heart because we're like, "No, this is mine. This is my cross." We take it on as this is my cross, so we hold on to it. And I remember her telling me to give her the bag, and I was giving her the bag, and I just switched arms, right? And so God is telling some of y'all, just put it, you got to take it off, put it down. And even when you look, it looks like God is not moving. I need you to not pick it back up. That was Coach's problem. I would give it to him, I will put it down, but then I pick it back up. What are some of those things you keep picking back up? What are those things that when it come and knock on your door? Because you do know that the spirits, because you're like, now, Coach, look, okay, I know I'm supposed to lay aside every weight. I've done that before. I've been through deliverance. I prayed, I fasted, but it just I just keep being on this cycle. Let me tell you why. Can I tell you why? Because when the spirit is cast out, you clean up the house, you get everything in order, but you're not filling it with something else. So when the spirit come knock on your door again, it say, "Hey, how you doing?" And you say, "I'm good. How you doing?" And you have a whole conversation, and you allow this stuff to come back. You go back and you pick it up. I mean, it's familiar, y'all. That's why we pick it up. That's why we allow it. That's why we come back into an agreement with it, because it's familiar to us. If you've ever had any kind of sickness and God healed you, then guess what? The next time you get that doctor's report, or the next time you have an ache, you have a pain, immediately that spirit come back and say, "Hey, and is this? Maybe I have, especially like right now. It's like, do I have, do I have COVID? Is this just a cold? Is this just allergies? What is this? What do I have going on?" And you start to have a whole conversation instead of you saying, "By His stripes, I have already been healed. I don't accept any of that." Instead of you just cutting it off, putting it down, and walking away and saying, "I'm not talking to you." So now that same spirit goes and he said, "Oh, hey, y'all, come over here." It calls out to six of his friends and said, "Y'all, come on over here. I found room over here. She got room. She done cleaned up and everything. We can all fit now." So now where you dealt with one thing, Now you're dealing with 6, 7, 8 other things. So now not only are you sick, now you're sick, you're money funny, you got anxiety, you're depressed, you're mad at the world, all your past hurts and traumas and all that stuff is coming up. And this is always happening to me, and woe is me, and da 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 da. And you like, what, how'd I get here? Because you came back into agreement. You picked up something that didn't belong to you. Put it down. Put it down. When you lay aside the weight, when you kick the sin out, there are things you have to do. And many of us have never been taught those things that you have to do to make sure not only that you obtain your freedom, not only do you get delivered, but you stay delivered, that you stay in that good place, that you stay in that healthy place. Many of us have never been taught how to keep the enemy out. We can put him out, but we can't keep him out. Because when he come knock on the door, you just start having a conversation. You open the door up. And I wrote a blog a few years ago, and it was called Unwanted Guests. And the unwanted guests for me was fear. I never told people how afraid I was, the fear that gripped me, that yeah, there were certain things that I still did, and I looked like I was doing well, but deep inside, it took so much out of me to just move on a daily basis. And then one day that thing came and knocked back at my door. And I had to be honest. I had to open my mouth. I had to tell some people. And I had to say, look, I'm not good. Let me tell you who this is. Let me tell you what this is. I had to tell my husband, look, I struggle with this right here. Why? Because he was called to walk with me. He was. And so when we came into agreement on that thing, guess what? I no longer was fighting alone. And so you got to, first of all, you got to put it down. And then you got to leave it there. Okay? You got to leave it there. And so some of you may say, Coach, well, I don't know how to do that. I got you. I got you. On this Sunday, I want you to come into the lion's den with me, and I want to teach you how to leave it there. I want to teach you, what do you do after deliverance takes place? Because many of us can take you through deliverance, but we drop you off on the other side and we never teach you to live. Do you know it's hard to live without pain? It's hard to live without trauma. It's hard to live without those memories when that's all you've ever known. If you've carried these things from childhood, when they're not there anymore, you just kind of sitting there like, hmm, what am I supposed to do with this? And some of you have been carrying some things that didn't belong to you, and it's time to put them down. And when you put them down, I want you to know how to live without them so that you don't pick them back up because they're familiar. You don't pick them back up because they're comfortable. You know, every woman has that pair of pants, that shirt that's comfortable. And so we don't throw it away. It's not that it fits. We wear it around the house. We just hold on to it because it's comfortable for nostalgia's sake. And some people will hold on to their pain, their anger, bitterness, anxiety, poverty, fear, division for nostalgia's sake. So I want you to meet me in the Lion's Den this weekend. bit.ly Lions Den 2020. And I'm gonna give you a safe place to process through what happened, to process through that made me angry. And God, that anger is still in there because you weren't just angry to the point where you could sin not. You were enraged. You were bitter. You were so angry that you could have really done some serious damage, and you haven't quite gotten over all of that. Because why? Because how do I know? Because when it comes up again, you still feel it in your heart. When it comes up again, you still react. a certain way. When you see it afar off, it doesn't have to be for you. You run. You're a runner. You go from place to place to place. I know he hurt you when he walked out. I know. I know it hurt because you trusted. It took a lot for you to trust again. And when you trusted him and you place makes you afraid to open up to what God is trying to do in your life right now. You don't know if you can love again. I want you to meet me in the lion's den. I want to give you a safe place to process through your truth. I'm going to give you permission to stand in your truth. And when you stand in your truth, we're going to turn that truth into a triumph, a shout of triumph. I'm going to give you permission to stand in your truth because some of you never had permission to own what happened. Some of you, it's like, did it really happen? Is it a dream? You don't. It happened. It happened. Own it. And we're going to use it as fuel, not fear. We're going to use it as that thing that, as a light. We're going to give it back to God. You're going to put it down and not carry it. You don't have to walk around with the weight of the world on your shoulders anymore. Coach gives you permission to put it down. You don't have to walk around with the sins of the father or the sins of your mother on your shoulders. Not your responsibility. It's time to let that little girl and that little boy grow up and live. They don't have to hide in the shadows anymore. They can live. So join me in the Lions Den. That's this Sunday. Go to bit.ly Lions Den 2020, or you can connect with me at www.thecassandrawilliams.com, and all the details about that is there. Also, ladies, we will be having a worship night in the Wise Wives Build group, bit.ly/join WWB. Um, and we're going to have a night of worship. We've prayed, we fasted, we have protested, and we're going to continue to do those things. But now it's time to worship. When people got ready to go into battle, God told them to put the praisers and the worshipers on the front line. So we're going to take our place on Monday, um, June 29th. We're going to take our place in prayer, in worship, because we need to hear. We need to hear from God. We need to let a sweet smelling savor go up to the Father. And so, ladies, join me. Zoom. That one is bit.ly/join WWB. And that's a free event. The worship night is completely free. Um, but if you struggle with moving forward, if you struggle with dealing with your past, I need you to join me in the Lion's Den. Freedom is available to you, but you have to get in the room. Freedom is available to you, but you have to take the steps. It's not for me to convince you of what you need. God has heard your prayers, He's heard your cries, but you have to take the step to accept the help. I can't come and put this information. Um, I can't make you do what needs to be done. You have to come and say, "I'm ready." So, if you're ready to register, bit.ly Lions Den 2020. If you're ready to say enough is enough, if you're ready to say, you know what, that's not going to hold me anymore, then I will gladly be glad to see you in the Lions Den. Okay. So, you guys, Cassandra Williams, victory coach, wife, mother, author, a lady with many, many, many hats. Okay. And I help wives, busy professional women, and kingdom leaders build the life that you've always dreamed of and live there. And part of living there is you got to put some stuff down. There's some things you've got to determine that's not going with me. This is not going to leave out of this quarantine because God began to show you some things about yourself over the last few months that you should have seen you should have been like, why don't I like my family right now? Why don't I like, I've enjoyed being home, okay? Introvert, listen, 100%. So I've enjoyed this time. But I know for some people it's been very difficult. Being home, being around your husband, being around your children, um, just dealing with family, period. Okay. So I love you guys to life, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another cup of tea. I hope something was said during this teaching that you feel equipped, you feel empowered, you feel encouraged. That you may feel a little educated today. But most of all, I hope you are ready to act. That today you will look at those areas to say, you know what, coach? Yeah, I'm ready to put that down. And I'm ready to learn how to live without it. Not only put it down, but leave it down. Walk away from it. Learn to live, build a life without pain, build a life without chaos.